here's the deal. 3, 3 is stuff that you've done before. It's kind of taking two different things you've done before and sticking them together. So we are doing inequalities. Instead of just straight equations to be graphed, you're graphing inequalities. With inequalities, you need to remember that there are many solutions.
There's at least 3 more than one.
Guys, my pen is horrible. I'm so sorry. Graphing is what you're going to do for all of this, okay? Because graphing shows up the most. But keeping in mind that you're going to have greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, which means your answer is not 5, right? It's greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And when you graph that, that requires that you shade. Put your phones away. Okay, so step 1 in this process is you are going to graph the boundary line. And I will show you what that means in just a minute. Okay, graph the boundary line. Here's one thing you need to know about that. When it is either of these symbols, that means it's less than or greater than. Does that include the thing we're talking about?
No.
No. So when you see one of these, it's going to be a dotted line. Okay? When you see the bar under it, it can include that thing that we're talking about, the number we're talking about, the equation we're talking about. So that is going to be a solid line.
So the dotted line's like an open dot on a number line and a solid like this.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Okay, so step 1, graph the boundary line. Step 2 on these problems, you have to decide which side to shade. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. If I tell you the equation is y is less than 2x minus 3. Can we quit with the beeping already? So y is less than 2x minus 3, okay? First thing you're gonna do is graph that as if it's an equation, okay? So pretend that's just a line, not an inequality right now. Where would you go to graph it?
Down 3.
Down 3. And then up 2 over 1, okay? And you may do a few just so you get a nice straight line. You should absolutely use a straight edge on these, okay? Absolutely use a straight edge. Okay, now here's the question. Don't draw the line in yet. What kind of line is this?
Dotted.
It's dotted because that does not have the bar under it, okay? So this should be a dotted line. Okay, so we're gonna do a dotted line. Okay, now here's the question. You have to figure out where to shade. My advice to you on this whole shading process is always plug in a point. I always plug in 0, 0 unless 0, 0 is on your line. Okay, so if I plug in 0, 0 right now to this equation, not equation, inequality, I would say 0 is less than 2 times 0 minus 3, which means 0 is less than 0 minus 3, which is negative 3. Is 0 less than negative 3?
False.
No, okay? That means that 0, 0 is not a good answer. So we don't want to shade this way because that's where 0, 0 is. Instead, we want to shade... This device does not like me right now. We want to shade this way. Okay, and that would be your answer to graphing that equation. That's so cool. Okay. Okay, this one. 4x plus 2y is less than or equal to 4. Why is it doing this? Okay, so you can graph this in standard form. I would say that's the quickest. So cover-up method would say 4x equals 4. So x equals 1, right? Cover-up would also say 2y equals 4, so y is 2. So if we just plot our intercepts, x equals 1 is here, y equals 2 is here. Is this a dotted or you can't sit there? Move. I don't care. One of you is moving. So you're going to draw that line in, dotted or solid?
Solid.
Solid, because it's the less than or equal to, right? So a solid line. Okay, now check if we plug in 0, 0, is that a true statement? No, you cannot sit there. You need to move. So if I plug in 0, 0, 4 times 0 plus 2 times 0 is less than or equal to 4. So that's saying 0 is less than or equal to 4. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, so 0, 0 is an answer. So you can shade on the 0, 0 side.
True.
Okay? Keep going. How would you do x is greater than 5? How do you graph the line x equals 5?
You do it up and down. On the
That's
whole.
vertical at 5, right? Is this solid or dotted?
Dotted.
This is dotted. Because it's got the no bar, right? So you would do this. If x has to be greater than 5, plug in a 0. Is 0 greater than 5?
Negatory.
No, so your shading would go away from 0, 0. Okay? How about this one?
Let me guess. Y is greater than 4.
Nope.
Y is less than 3.
Okay, so now this one. What is your vertex right now?
2 negative 5.
Opposite of this value, right? 2, same as the other, okay? What shape is this graph? Not a parabola.
Y.
V. It's a V, right? So 2, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is here, okay? You don't have an A out in front, so you're just going up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Is this solid or dotted?
Solid.
Solid. It's got the equal to. Okay? So if you plug in 0, 0, is 0 less than or equal to the absolute value of 0 minus 2 minus 5? 0 minus 2 is a negative 2, but you're taking the absolute value. So 0 is less than or equal to 2 minus 5. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 3?
False.
No. So 0, 0 doesn't work. So you don't want to shade in the V. You want to shade the opposite side of the V. Okay? Okay. Last one before we jump into
Plug the 0 in for y and
X.
x.
Well, because we're plotting the point 0, 0 and seeing if you should shade where 0, 0 is.
I answered my own question.
Good. All right. This is kind of a tricky one here. Okay. Notice what's going on in this problem. It's a negative y, not y. So we need to get rid of that. So what we're going to do is divide by negative 1. But do you remember what happens? Or multiply by negative 1? We'll multiply by. You have to flip your symbol. So it's y is less than or equal to. That negative 1 is just going to make the whole thing the opposite. Right? So your vertex is at x plus 1. Which way do I move for that?
To the left.
You move to the left 1. Okay, but now notice that's like your slope, right? Where do I go?
Down 1.
Down 1 over 1, and it's still a V. Okay, this is a solid line because it's got the equal to. So when you check 0, 0, this vertex here, the -1, 0. So when you plug in 0, 0 into this, 0 is less than or equal to -1 times the absolute value of 0 plus 1, okay? Is 0 less than or equal to -1?
Yes.
No.
Wait.
0 is not less than -1,
Oh, yeah.
right? So you don't want to shade by 0, 0, so you shade there. That's the place that a lot of people are going to make mistakes. You're going to plug it in, and you have to really stop and think, is that a true statement? Okay? Okay. Now we're going to look for overlap. This is the fun part.
Does this mean it's gonna...
I don't know why this app does not like me right now. Okay, so here's where they get the fancy stuff. All that I just showed you, you know how to do that. Hey, I'm up here. You need to know how to do this. Here's your two inequalities for this first one. If we have 2x minus y is greater than or equal to -3, and we have y is greater than or equal to -1/2 x plus 1. Okay, that's our system, those two. I want to know the solution to that system by graphing, okay? So we're going to start with the red line. To graph that, we would go up 1, and then down 1 to the right 2. Okay, is that a solid or dotted line? I lost my ruler. It's just not here.
You can't even see when it's dotted.
If you use a pen, you should be able to.
Oh.
Okay, so this is, sorry, my ruler has disappeared from my screen, so this is not going to be pretty. Is it here? No, it's not there. So that's your first line, okay? But we got to shade. Now here's the deal with the shading, okay? You don't want to shade dark right now, so this is how I do it. We're looking for an overlap. We don't know where that overlap's going to fall yet. So if y is greater than or equal to -1/2 x plus 1, plug in 0, 0 here. Plug a 0 in here, a 0 in here. So 0 is greater than or equal to, this is 0 plus 1. So is 0 greater than or equal to 1? No. So we don't want to shade where 0, 0 is, but we don't want to shade dark right now. So this is how I do it. I do just like spaced out lines just so I can see all going the same direction. Okay? Then when we graph our second line, I'm going to take that 2x minus y is greater than or equal to -3. You can either graph it in standard form or you can turn it into slope-intercept. I'm going to turn it into slope-intercept just so you make sure you're doing the whole negative thing. So if we turn this into slope-intercept, take away the 2x from both sides. So you have -y is greater than or equal to -2x minus 3. Divide by -1. That means you now have y, flip your symbol, is less than or equal to 2x plus 3. Okay, when we graph that, we go up 3, and then your slope is 2, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Is this a solid or dotted line? It's a solid line because it's got the equal to. Okay, now you got to figure out where you're shading this one. So if you plug in 0, 0, 0 is less than or equal to 2 times 0 plus 3. 0 plus 3, 0 is less than or equal to 3 is true, right? So you are shading the 0, 0 side. So that means, and now for this one, make your lines go in a different direction. I always just go perpendicular-ish to the line, okay? So that's your graph, but I need to see where your answer is. You need to shade the overlap darker. So your overlap happened here. Scribble in the overlapped part, and then that will show you this is where the answer is. Okay? If you just shade not darker there, I don't know what your answer is. So make your answer very distinct. Are we clear on that? Make it noticeable. Okay. Next one. Here is your system. X minus 2y. Yeah.
So when 0 is less than equal to 3, and you plot that point, do you plot like another point?
You're not plotting that point. You're testing is 0, 0 part of the shaded section. Right? So 0 was less than, that was true. So then we shaded on the 0, 0 side. That's where we shaded all of that.
Oh, wait, so...
So you're going to shade on the side of the line where 0, 0 is. What's the what?
What's the blue? Oh, that was the...
That was the equation. That was this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, here's your system. Okay, so I'm going to start with the red line. You're going to go up 5. Oh, I should have made that smaller. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your y-intercept. Okay, and then you're going from there down 3 over 2. 1, 2, 3 over 2. Is that a solid or dotted line? That one's solid. So draw, ooh. Really need to find where that ruler went. What? I didn't. I zoomed in and it made it bigger. Okay, so if you plug in 0, 0, 0 is less than or equal to negative 3 halves times 0 plus 5. So 0 is less than or equal to 5. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. So where are we shading?
Down.
Toward the 0, 0, right? So just do perpendiculars there, just lines, don't scribble it in. Okay, that's one of your lines. Your other one, I would probably, on this one, the blue one, I would probably do standard form, the cover-up method. So x equals 6, right? That would be your y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What would your y-intercept be? Negative 3, right? 2y equals 6. You would do divide by 2, so your y-intercept is negative 3. Sorry, negative 2y. Divide by negative 2. What? So I'm just doing cover-up method, right? X equals 6 and negative 2y equals 6. So divide by negative 2 and you get y is negative 3. So that's your y-intercept. 1, 2, 3. Okay, dotted or solid line? This one's dotted, right? Doesn't have the bar under the symbol. So we're going to do a dotted line here. Okay, plug in 0, 0. 0 minus 0 is less than 6. Is 0 less than 6?
Truth.
Yes, so you're going to shade on the 0, 0 side. Okay, see why we go different directions? Your checkerboard is your answer. So wherever you see checkerboard, you're going to shade in darker. Okay? Use different colors. Why aren't you using different colors? Okay. Okay, I got 2 more. You ready?
I can tell, but it just looks bad. The smell of Sharpies makes me want to throw up. I love the smell of Sharpies. No, I do too, but...
Hey, Angie, how do those 3 pranks so you have?
That's what you're good? Okay, here we go.
She said I love the smell of Sharpies. I know, but still, you don't just say that.
Okay, 2 equations. First of all, solid or dotted lines on both of them?
Solid.
Solid, okay? This graph, y is less than or equal to 3. That's a horizontal line at 3. So solid line at 3. This one, you can just tell where the shading goes, right? Y has to be less than or equal to 3. Are we going above or below?
Down.
You're going below. Okay, so there's your blue line. Your red line, where do you move when absolute value, your minus 1 is inside? To the right. Okay, and what shape is absolute value? It's the V, right? So no, there's no anything in front of there to tell us we go anywhere other than up 1 over 1. So we are doing up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, solid line. Technically, you should keep going through there. Sorry, that's hideous. So if you plug in 0, 0, 0 is greater than or equal to the absolute value of negative 1. So 0 is greater than or equal to 1. Is that true? No. So 0, 0 is not part of this, which means we're shading this way. Do you see where your overlap is?
It's in that little upside down pyramid.
It's a triangle, right? This is your overlap. Okay? What? One more. Okay, last one. I really hope this is going to be recorded. All right, y is less than or equal to x plus 3. And y is greater than the absolute value of x minus 2 plus 1. Okay? So y equals or is less than or equal to x plus 3. This is going to be a solid line. You go up 3, 1, 2, 3. What's your slope? Up 1 over 1. Okay, so solid line. Like that. Use a straight edge. Mine's terrible. Can't find my ruler back. Then this one, okay? Dotted line, because there is no bar there, right? What is your vertex? Your vertex is positive 2, positive 1. So you're going to go 2, 1, and plot that point, and then up 1 over 1, and up 1 over 1. Okay? This is what kind of line?
It's a V.
Dotted line, right? It is a V, but it's a dotted line. So dotted line this way, dotted line this way. If I plug 0, 0 in, yeah.
Wouldn't it technically be 2 rays? Because the line goes in infinite
Sure.
directions.
I said what kind of line. Dotted was what I was looking for, not what shape. Yes, those would be 2 rays. Yes. So 0 is greater than the absolute value of 0 minus 2 plus 1. So 0 is greater than 2 plus 1, which is 3. Is 0, 0 a part of this? Oh, we didn't shade the last one. Sorry, guys.
Zippo's
Okay, blue one. Where do we shade? On the V.
down.
Not at the 0, 0, right? So blue shading is going to be here. Okay, the red line, if you plug in 0, 0, 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 3. So 0 is less than or equal to 3. Is that true? Yeah. Yes. So you're going to shade where 0, 0 is on that one, which would be on this side of the line, which means your answer is this little chunk. Okay? Questions on that?